Now let's talk about the convolutional neural networks. Now this is the agenda. I will be discussing what is convolution and what are convolutional neural networks. CNNs are also called connets, and then I will be discussing about the padding and the advantages. Valid and same convolution is a topic. Stride, convolutional layers, and the numerical will be solved for that. And then we will be discussing about the pooling layers, the max pooling, average pooling, and the global average pooling. I will also be discussing about the advantages of using the pooling, fully connected layers, hyperparameters, and the applications. So what is a convolution? Let's say that this is an image, this is a 5x5 image having the pixel values of 1 2 3 4 5 in each row, and you have this filter of 1 0 minus 1 1 0 minus 1 1 0 minus 1 3x3 filter, and now you want to do the convolution. Convolution is this small process in which you can imagine that we are multiplying each value 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 with the corresponding 1 0 minus 1 1 0 minus 1 and 1 0 minus 1. So when you will be doing it row wise, it will be something like this: 1 into 1 plus 2 into 0 plus 3 into minus 1, and similarly for the next two rows. And when you do the summation, you will get this answer of minus 6 in this case. This minus 6 is the value which will be filled into the first value, first location of the final output of doing the convolution over this image. So this minus 6 is what we get when we do 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 with convolution of 1 0 minus 1 1 0 minus 1 and 1 0 minus 1. Similarly, when you do this filtering with 1 0 minus 1 1 0 minus 1 over this 2 3 4 2 3 4 2 3 4, the answer will be different. And if you solve this, your answer will be minus 4 minus 4 minus 4 and 2 2 2, that's minus 6. So again minus 6 will be filled here, right? So something like that, and you will be able to do the convolution for each row, and correspondingly moving down for the full image, and you can fill this answer. This is convolution. So CNNs or connets are something like, let's say that you have an input image, you do convolution, which we just discussed, and this convolutions will form a feature map, which is also called activation map. And from these maps, when you will be doing the subsampling, and maybe you are getting more and more convolutions and making the size small, you will reach these two outputs. So let's say that outputs are class 1 and class 2. So these two classes are the outputs from this image. Let's say if you wanted to predict, is it a robot or not, is it a robot or a human being. So maybe this one is saying the robot, this is, so this point is telling the probability of robot, and this point is giving the output as a probability of human being. So something like that can be visualized in CNNs. Okay, so let's talk about multiple concepts. The first concept is the padding. Padding means that, let's say you have an image of 28 cross 28 and you are using this padding equal to 1. So padding means you are just adding one layer of zeros on all the four sides of the image. Then obviously you are increasing your size by 2 rows and 2 columns, and the total size will be 30 and 30 if the initial size was 28 28. Now why are we using padding? Now let's say that in the initial image of 28 cross 28, the first value in that image was having this violet color, and when you do the convolution over the full image, if the let's say that you are using it for the, you are doing it on the first row, so this first row will be covering this violet point only once, and then you move down to the second row. So at till the end of this convolution, this violet area has only been worked upon only for one time, right? It has not been repeated. It is if it had a very important feature in that cropped image, that you can imagine any image within that, let's say that that one point was very important on the left corner, and you are missing that point just because you are convoluting it over only once, right? So to improve that thing, we are adding this padding of 0 0 0, so that if you do convolution over this area, you will be moving from this side to the next point. So at least you will be covering this point twice, maybe twice or thrice or maybe 4 times. So that will help in not ignoring this point. That will help in taking more insights from this violet point and maybe perform better. So this padding is very important, right? So what are the advantages of padding? It helps in keeping the size of image same as original if needed. Now there is an option, there are two types of convolution, valid convolution and the same convolution. If you do not want to reduce the size of an image, if you do not want to reduce the size of an image, you might want to use padding so that your size remains fine, and after applying the filter, your size is not dropping. Maybe 20, if you apply 28 cross 28 and filter of 3 cross 3, you will get a size of 26 cross 26. If you can imagine. So that drop of 2 points, if you do not want that, you want to use padding for it. It also helps in utilizing the corner pixel values. So this is valid and same convolution. Let's say that you are doing this 6 cross 6 and 3 cross 3 is the filter size. The convolution is being done. The formula is n minus f plus 1 into n minus f plus 1. The size will be 4 cross 4 after the convolution. And if you do not want to reduce the size, if you want to keep the size same, pad so that the output is same as the input size. So if you are doing the padding, the formula becomes n plus 2p minus f plus 1 into n plus 2p minus f plus 1. Now you want this value to be equal to n, and if you solve this, you will see that p is equal to f minus 1 by 2. Let's say your filter size was 3, your padding should be equal to 1 using this formula. If your filter size was 5 cross 5, your padding should be 2. So this filter is generally odd. This filter size is generally odd, 1 cross 1, 3 cross 3. Why? Because it is easier to find the midpoint in case you have a odd size filter. If it is a even size filter, let's say 2 cross 2, then it will be unable to find the middle value. So this filter value is very important, and you will want this center value to be accessible. Now stride. What is a stride? Stride is a step size. Let's say that you are moving this yellow filter one by one, one step by one step, row wise also and column wise also. So I have made the arrows in a way that you can understand better. While moving the filter during convolution with the stride 1, you will have to move this filter one by one over, and similarly for stride 2, you can jump with the step size of 2. So initially filter was at this place, and then if you want to take a step of 2, you will reach directly at this location, and similarly you can move again and you will reach at this location. So this is a very important step. This is very important concept of understanding strides and padding, and we will also be seeing a small numerical based on these things in a while. Now convolution layers. In a CNN, the input is a tensor. Tensor means a array. It is a tensor with the shape, number of image into number of images into image height into width into channels. So channel is let's say that you are having a colored image. It will have three channels: red channel, green channel, and the blue channel. Right? After passing through a convolutional layer, the image becomes abstracted to a feature map with the shape, number of images into feature map height into feature map width into feature map channel. So let's understand this, and we will also practically see it later on. So convolutional filter kernels defined by width and height. So filter has to be given with the width and height. So this is a hyperparameter. The number of input channels and the output channels are also hyperparameters. The depth of the convolutional filter, the input channels, must be equal to the channels of the input feature map, and the convolution operation specific hyperparameters like padding size and the stride. So all these 4-5 things has to be given by the person, because hyperparameters means that it is in our hands. If it was parameters means w weights and the b bias value. So those were the things that are parameters of the network, but these are the hyperparameters. These are in our hands. We can change the values of these things. So that's a hyperparameter. Now numerical, let's say P is padding, S is stride, F filter size, and N is the size of image. The formula for activation map size calculation is N plus 2P minus F by S plus 1 and N plus 2P minus F by S plus 1. So this is the size of the image if you want to calculate it. Now example is that let's say that you have an image of 28 cross 28. The filter size is 3 cross 3. What will be the size of the resultant image? So N is 28, F is 3, stride is 1 by default, and padding is 0 by default. If it is not given, it is not given, right? So stride is 1 by default and P is 0 by default. So solving this, you will get an answer of 26. Similarly, if you have this filter of 5 cross 5, the stride is 2. Now padding is not still given, padding will be 0. So with these 4 values you can solve and reach a size of 12 cross 12. Now when you solve this, you will get an answer of 12.5. You have to apply the floor function. After applying the floor function, you will see that the answer is 12. So the final answer will be 12 cross 12. Similarly, if you have a padding of 2 and the stride of 2 and the filter size of 5 cross 5, the image size is same. You will solve this and reach the size of 14, which is achieved after applying the floor function. The output map size will be 14 cross 14. So these were the small examples which I wanted to discuss with you regarding the padding, stride, filter size, and size of image related things. Now the pooling layers. What is pooling and how does it help? What are the different types we will be seeing? Let's talk about max pooling first. If you have a image of 4 cross 4 with these values of 1321, 2911, all of these things, and you are trying to do max pooling means you have to get the maximum value out of the filter. Let's say your filter size was 2 cross 2. So if the 2 cross 2 filter is applied on this 1329, the maximum value out of this is 9. So 9 is passed as the max pooling value after applying the pooling with the stride of 2. So why stride of 2? Because when once I am done with these 4 values, I want to move on to the next 4 values. So I have to jump from this location to the this location. So 2 1 1 1. So the maximum value is 2. So it is 2 here. And similarly with this green area, the maximum value is 6. So the maximum values out of all the 4 values which are being highlighted with different colors is signifies that filter is moving with the stride of 2 and the size is 2 cross 2. So the maximum values are being transferred, and this is how max pooling is done. Now applying max pooling with 3 cross 3 filter, you can see that in this brown square you have to find the maximum value, which is 9, 132, 291 and 132. The maximum value is 9. 9 is passed and it is written here like this. Similarly with the stride of 1, if I move 321, 911, 323, the maximum value is still 9. So 9 will be passed to the second location. Similarly in the third stage of this filtering over the single row with the stride of 1, 213, 115 and 232, the maximum value is 5. So this is how we calculate the maximum values. Similarly at the last filter size 232, 510, the maximum value is still 9, the violet square. So I have filled the other values also, you can verify on your end. Moving ahead, what is average pooling? In average pooling, you have to get the average of the 4 values inside the filter. So let's say that you are using average filtering over 2 cross 2 size of filter with a stride of 2. You will have to do the average of all the 4 numbers inside that. So 1, 3, 2 and 9, the sum is 15 and the average is 3.75. 3.75 is put here. Similarly 1.25, 4 and 2, you can verify on your end. So this is average pooling. We are taking the average of the 4 numbers inside the filter. Now global average pooling. Global average pooling is very important. You will realize this in the later sections. It is actually used in ResNet transfer learning. So we will see how it works now. And H and W are the height and width of the image, and the depth is the D. So this is an image of H and W with the channels of D. D is the channel, the depth of the image. And similarly, if you take the average of all the numbers in this H and W at the depth of 1, let's say we are talking about the first HW, you have to take the average of the full values inside this first square here and put it as the first value here on the right hand side. So the average of all the numbers here will be written here in 1 cross 1 value, single value. Similarly, it will be done for the second depth, for the third depth, for the fourth depth. Till all the D's are complete, the averages have to be written and stored as 1 cross 1 cross D. So this is global average pooling. You are globally, for the full image, calculating the average and putting it as a singular value. So this is global average pooling. So what is the summary of pooling? Hyperparameters are filter size, stride, and if you want to use max pooling or average pooling, you have to decide. So all those things are in your control. No parameters to learn. Parameters in a sense, no weights and bias values are here to be learned. All the values are in our control. So F2 size 2. So this has to be calculated. The final answer will be calculated through this formula. Let's say you have the size of NH into NW into NC, which is height, width, and the channel number. So NH minus F by S plus 1, the floor function is applied into N of W minus F by S plus 1. Again, the floor function is applied into NC. NC is the channels. So this is how you calculate the size of the resultant activation. The advantages of pooling are two: dimensionality reduction, because now when you are applying the max pooling, you are getting one value for the four values you were trying to do in the max pooling. Even if you were trying to solve it for 3 cross 3 filter size, the max pooling would fetch one value for the corresponding 9 values which were looked for the maximum value. Similarly, for the global average pooling or maybe the average pooling, again you were getting singular value for any size you pick, right? So you were getting a singular value for the global average pooling, in which H and W could be maybe 100 cross 100. Still you were getting single value. And for the average pooling also, you were using 2 cross 2 or 3 cross 3 filter and taking the average in and pushing it to a small dimension. And if you do if you use this pooling, you will in a way reduce the size of the image. Okay, now after reducing the size of the image, the further processing will become faster, because now smaller values have to be worked upon, so the computation is faster. Now fully connected layers means that we have seen in the previous videos also. Fully connected is this layer of let's say n maybe 4096 values. There are 4096 neurons in this layer, and again this, so you have to connect all the values. This 9216 have to be connected with all the 4096 values here, and again 4096 values have to be connected to the next location. So the connection number of connections will be 9216 into 4096, which is approximately 38 million, and 4096 into 4096, which is again approximately 17 million. So this 55 million is coming from only these two connections of fully connected layers. And you will see different models in the next video in the transfer learning, and you will see that this is a snapshot. This is half of the AlexNet transfer learning model. So that AlexNet has total of 60 million parameters, and out of that 55 million parameters are at these two locations only, and all the previous layers are having less parameters compared to it. So this is kind of a model. I have defined the sequential model. The size of the number of filters is 16, and this 3 cross 3 is the size of the filter. The activation function is ReLU. The shape is 281. So if you now I have not written here that the padding is given or not, even if I want the same size. Now valid convolution will be done, and your size will be reduced. Because of this 3 cross 3, you will get a size of 26 cross 26. You can see here 26 cross 26. Why? Because on 28 cross 28, when you apply a filter of 3 cross 3, you will get a size of 26 cross 26. That this has been discussed earlier, right? And 16 is the number of filters, so this 16 will become the channel. The channel size was initially 1, now channels are becoming 16. Now after you apply the max pooling of 2 cross 2, the size will be half. Why half? When you solved this earlier, that 4 cross 4 image was reduced to 2 cross 2, right? So the size becomes half when you apply max pooling with the size of 2 cross 2. So 13, 13, 16. Again convolution of 16 filters and 3 cross 3, 2 points again less, 11, 11, 16. Then again pooling 5, 5, 16. Then flatten. This flattening means that I want to convert my image of 5, 5, 16 into 1D array. So 5 into 5 into 16 is 400. 400 points are the 1D version of this convolution image, and this 400 will be connected with the dense layer. These dense layers are there for the purpose of fully connected layers. So 400 into 32 connections will be there, and 32 into 10 connections will be here. So this is how we visualize our model and make our models work. So hyperparameters are number of filters, the filter shape, input image size, the optimizers, and the loss function. So these are the hyperparameters which are in our control. Optimizer we can use ADA delta, ADAM optimizer, RMS prop, maybe SGD. So all those kind of optimizers are available to us. Filter shape is available to us. You can maybe use 3 cross 3, you can use 5 cross 5, 7 cross 7. It is in your hands. The number of filters are in your hand. Maybe you want to use 16 filters or 32 filters, maybe 50 filters depending upon your requirement. A loss function, maybe you want to use cross entropy loss, or maybe you want to use a mean square error loss. So multiple options are there for you to even use the loss function. Now the applications, there are multiple applications ranging from image classification, the face recognition, optical character recognition, the medical image computing, and the predictive analytics. So in image classification, you must have worked upon search engines such as this Google image search. You can directly upload your one of the picture here regarding which you want to do a search, and the very similar images will come up. And similarly for the recommender system, let's say that you searched a Bruce Lee book on a Amazon website, and the recommendations also comes with this. Customers who bought this item also bought these following books. In face recognition, the face images are used with CNN, and the person's identity is recognized. For the optical character recognition, this is the architecture, very basic architecture. It is MNIST image. So in MNIST image there are multiple digits ranging from 0 to 9. So this is image of 5. So it is processed through the CNN and the pooling layers till the fully connected layer, and the final output is given ranging from 0 to 9 digit. So based on which the recognition is done for this image to text part. And even the personal signature verification, this is usable in banking system. Let's say that you want to make your own system which can read the signature that has been done on a check or a draft, and you want to verify with the system that yes, if the signature is authentic or not. And in the medical image computing, X-ray and MRI anomaly detection is generally done, and you can imagine that this is a MRI image, though it is not, but still if it is a MRI image, the CNN and the pooling layers and the fully connected layers, so all of those things will bring you the predictions such as if there is any anomaly or not regarding some abnormality. And in the predictive analytics, the drug discovery and health risk assessment, multiple techniques have been built to do these things. And let's say for drug discovery there are 4 types of drugs here, and through the CNN and the hidden layers, this can be classified into structures or the functions or the properties. So there are multiple techniques through which these applications have been implemented and for CNN.